Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us here in the Rochester Press Box. Playoff time. Tariq, what do you think?
Oh, just waiting for the I told you so from Duffy. That's what I think. I love every game this week, matchup-wise. It's going to be so much fun.
I would say this now so he can pick his spot, but I'm waiting for the handsome bearded man comment.
Guys, why would I, a man who on November 11th looked everyone in the face when the Bills were at 500 and had an 8% chance of winning the division, guys now after I said, and you have the tape, right? You have the tape?
Hopefully.
Mark my words, the Bills will win the AFC East this season. The Bills will win the AFC East this season.
Last word.
Save the tape.
Here he goes again.
Watch
I'm really concerned about the chemistry of this team, the coaching of this team.
I have, textural evidence that I had the same thing on the 13th that I shot up to my kids. I said, when they were 5-5, I said, all they got to do is stay within a game because they were like, down on the Bills and all the rest of this stuff.
Yeah, but you argued with me when I said I said 2 days before. It's on YouTube. Everyone go look it up. I told you! What did I tell you? I looked at the camera and I told you. Never question me about anything ever again.
Give it to me because it means obviously a lot more to you.
Oh, look at this guy. Doesn't matter now. If I was wrong, you guys would be killing me right now.
We won't hear about it for the next 20 minutes. Trust
20
me.
20 minutes? How about 5 years, bro?
I bet.
Buckle up.
Well, so things went pretty well last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, as long as you got 17 on your team. Listen, Josh Allen has saved this, not only team, this organization, this season, and Sean McDermott's job for crying out loud over the last 5 weeks or so. He has put that team on his back.
God. My God.
He hasn't? Are you going to sit here and say he has not? Put that team on his back, Duffy, and put them in the playoffs to where they are right now.
Let me drop some knowledge on you.
Yes or no? Don't give me that.
No, let me drop some knowledge, which has been a theme the last couple of weeks. Drop some knowledge on you. You're right. Josh Allen played out of his mind. Over 420 yards of total offense, out through Tua, outrushed Achane. However, the touchdown that draws them even, a Deontay Hardy punt return. The Miami Dolphins had 218 yards of total offense going into the half. You know what they had in the second half? 57. Without Russell Douglas playing corner and with 7th round pick from last season out of Clemson, you know him, you love him, Balen Spector, your 5th linebacker. You know who that guy was? I barely did, and I love this team more than anything in the world. They held the Dolphins to 57 yards, and they didn't gain a first down until that final drive on a penalty.
Is that a Dolphins offense without Raheem Mostert, who is the all-time leading rusher for that organization in a season, in a single season? And, oh, by the way, without Waddle, one of their wideout
You want to
threats.
talk injuries? Did you hear me tell you we were down to our 5th linebacker, our 4th corner? No Milano, no White, no Douglas, no Terrell Dotson. And who would have thought at the beginning of the season you would have said, I can't believe we've gone without Terrell Dotson.
You know what? I think it's the hidden reason that the Bills have come on late in the season is the defense, and it's because those guys got hurt early enough for Buffalo to adjust, incorporate the backups, and integrate them into the system, and they found out these guys are a little bit better than we thought.
It's very possible. It's also possible that you two can't see the forest for the trees and are not giving Sean McDermott the credit he deserves.
What?
Because I am now a firm believer, after watching, again, you'll never forget his name for the rest of your life, Balen Spector, ball out. He had 7 defensive snaps until Sunday night, and he went out and balled out.
Is this the Sean McDermott that was praying that call would be made against Kansas City in order to win that game? Is this the same guy who got rid of his defensive coordinator before the start of the season and his offense coordinator during the season?
Leslie Frazier said he walked voluntarily, and it seems like that coordinator thing, although I was skeptical, worked out for him. The bottom line is this. I'm convinced that he could coach me up to be an NFL defensive player.
Goodness.
I have argued this for a while. That system is remarkable. And maybe you can even make an argument that when you have role players that will play the system exactly the way it's designed, I think it's better than with Edmonds. And Edmonds is a far superior athlete than any of the linebackers minus Milano. It's been better this season. The system is unbelievable.
I like the evidence that points to that. I think that's the reasoning for my point where they've had the time to rebuild that defense while everybody else in the league is losing players. Buffalo lost all theirs early, and they've been able to keep pace.
I wish we had kept the other cut earlier on in the year. This is actually the second cut. People don't even realize Matt Milano made the adjustment, obviously, with the defense going forward. That's the same system they had with and without Milano. They were better without him. They were able to adjust in the middle of the season. And now, you don't think they're better with Matt Milano?
No, you said you're better without him. Yes, they're better with Matt Milano.
They got better without him over time.
Yes.
But remember, that's the same system they all had to adjust to.
There are lots of things you can criticize McDermott for. I mean, I'll come out and talk about his big moment decisions in some games in the past. You talk about the ability to win a challenge, which, by the way, he did the other night, slowly pulling up his league history lowest challenge conversion rate. However, the one thing you cannot criticize,
Who has that stat? No Nobody has that but him.
Me and Balen Spector. The one thing you cannot criticize.
He could have made it up because who's going to know?
Somebody look it up.
Let's
and put it on YouTube.
We got picks to make and a game to look forward to. Greg Connors is going to join us next on the Rochester Press Box.
I think he did make it up.
Just passing through life lessons from notable Rochesterians, people you may think you know. Don Elhart, Maggie Brooks, John Dady, and Stacy Pension, J Mac and Soccer Sam, Fred Costello, and Jake Zembeck, along with 21 more. How they all got from there to here. It's a new book by Bill Pucko, available for $12 postpaid only from rocksportsnow.com. Try it, and thank you. Our NFL Pick segment in the Rochester Press Box, brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your trusted and dedicated workers' comp attorneys and official sponsor of the Buffalo Bills. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. Our picks brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Greg, welcome back. From Miami, that was a fun trip.
It was a fantastic trip, and I love the energy. This is playoff TV right now. Right? You gotta love the energy.
Yeah. Sorry, Duffy making up stats. So we've gone 36 games picking, and we're all separated by just 2 games. Go ahead.
No, I was just
co-leading.
No. You said that we were separated. I don't remember. I didn't see what the standings were.
I don't recall.
You don't That's weird.
Someone's in first place.
Greg, take your first swipe at this Pittsburgh game. We're
Well,
playing 10.5 points.
yeah, 10.5 points. Number one, the projections for weather in Buffalo on Sunday could be absolutely horrific. It could be reminiscent of the Colts game from several years ago. The Bills are going to win, but the Bills are going to win 14-10. So I'm taking the Steelers in the 10.5 points.
All right, well, I'll give him. I agree. I think 10.5 is a little too much. Tomlin's too good a coach to let his team get rolled over. What do you think, Tariq?
I think, listen, I never bet against Mike Tomlin, but look at the obstacle he faces. No TJ Watt. He's down to his 3rd starting quarterback this season. I know a lot of people are like, well, give Mason Rudolph a chance. I mean, for crying out loud. I don't know how he goes in there unless they punch Buffalo in the mouth early and often and win this game. It's so much against them, but I'm still picking Pittsburgh.
Okay. Whoa, we got there. So you got a stat.
I got multiple
I just wanted his head to explode.
No, this is great. So let's again take a further lead. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the most fraudulent playoff team maybe in the history of the league. They have a 21st ranked defense in the NFL. That was before they lost TJ Watt. They have the 25th ranked offense in the NFL. And here's a fun fact. Mason Rudolph in his 3-game win streak has yet to throw a pick. The Bills have 5 interceptions in the last 2 games. It's come due. The Bills win and they cover the 10.5.
Whoa! Cover the 10.5. Wow. My goodness.
Yeah, and it puts them in position.
I know.
I'm feeling it, baby.
This is a serious competition.
Good luck.
So we're extending this into the playoffs. We got a few more games to pick from. You got one for us? Another playoff game, Greg?
You know, I would love to be able to do the Taylor Swift game, but we all agreed to just do the Sunday games. So I'm gonna have to take the Bucs. The Bucs I believe are +3.5 over the Eagles. I'm gonna go with the Bucs +3.5. Baker Mayfield
too. Yeah, Philadelphia is like the tough team to figure.
Well, I mean, being a Giants fan, I'd hate to see Philadelphia lose, but I just can't pick them. Something doesn't seem right about this team. I mean, offensively, I said it before about Hurts. He's not 100%. There's something, they've lost that mojo from last year. A win against Tampa would put them back, but I just don't believe in Baker Mayfield that much. The one time I bet on him this year, it did not come through, so I'm kind of torn on this one. I still would love to see the Eagles lose.
So are you taking?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Dallas, give the 7.5 to Green Bay.
This hurts me. This very much hurts me. His Lions story has been great. It's even. It's 3.5. It's 3 points.
No.
Matthew Stafford, that team has been through the fire. I think they have more talent on offense than Detroit does, despite what you've seen all season long. I think the Rams, the three points. I think they cover the 3 points. I think I like the 3.5 there. I like the Rams. I think they beat them straight up.
Wow.
Matthew Stafford goes home. His wife is upset because people are trying to keep Lions fans from wearing Matthew Stafford jersey. I think they get that game.
That's good. It's a good mix of games. I think we got all the Sunday ones covered, Greg. Wrap it up for us. We'll be looking all season forward to the playoffs, and Buffalo got in. They're in a good spot. How do you see the weekend playing out?
I see the Bills Mafia showing up at the stadium in Buffalo with as much intensity and excitement as you guys have had on the show, and that's what's going to make this game really have the biggest impact. The Steelers aren't going to be able to hear anything. Najee Harris is probably going to get his yards, but I do believe the Bills are going to win this, and we're going to keep going. And then we're going to see the Chiefs next week.
Pittsburgh on the line.
I know, but they're not going to cover. The Bills are going to win 14-10, but they're not going to cover 10.
You got a stat you want to make up for us?
Duffy's going to lose.
Okay, that's definitely a made-up stat. I am on fire the last month. Come on.
Do not let this come down to the fourth quarter and this game tight. I get very nervous for Buffalo if that were that
The
case.
Bills have won 5 straight, 3 of them close. Let it get tight. Josh Allen does not fail when he walks off the field having the ball.
Famous last words, let it get tight.
Okay.
Greg, thank you very much. Our pick segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Like it or not, is next.
Here's the Press Box Trivia question, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road.
Maybe you've been here before, maybe this is your first time. It's always a great getaway. Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. I'll take you inside the gorge at Watkins Glen. Look for the getaway guy on Facebook.
Here's the Press Box Trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box, our Like It or Not segment. Brought to you by Sport Clips, where the MVP experience is better than ever. Sport Clips is a game changer. No appointments are needed. You stop by a Rochester location today, okay? Like it or not, Tariq, Peacock has exclusive rights to that Saturday night NFL playoff game.
My goodness.
And they don't make it a secret.
No, they don't. Better find a friend that has it. If not, I do. I have it, so it's all
No big
good.
deal. Big spender over here.
But why, you need the passcode?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. That being said, this is how it works. The NFL is in a specific situation where they're trying to get as many people in there. This works for Peacock because they've got other programming on there. They're trying to get people to go over there, and maybe they forget about canceling their subscription afterwards. That being said, this is how this works. This is the biggest audience you're going to get. They're going to get a huge number of people to see other programming that they have. This is the free football for this day, but I don't know. I see a lot of content on that.
I keep hearing Tariq. This is bugging the hell out of me, the way they were, this is your opportunity.
Yep.
Like, oh, stop.
But look, I mean, it's the wave of the future. This is what's happening. I mean, we had an argument in the break room on CMF this week about whether or not 10 years from now you're paying to watch the Super Bowl, which I think is completely possible. But you do know why Goodell picked this specific game to put on Peacock, right?
Oh, Taylor Swift.
You nailed it. All of the Swifties are going to now subscribe to Peacock and forget to cancel their subscriptions. Look, nothing is done by accident.
You really think it was that?
Yeah. Why
That's amazing.
That specific game? Yeah. She's going to be there. The Swifties have shown up in force. They're going to pay for it, where a guy like you, who's a diehard football fan, may look and go, I can miss one game.
Would you watch a football game with
I'm going
a
to try.
Swiftie? Would you? But what if there's like a Swiftie around? Like, is this the Taylor Swift game?
If it's a game I don't care about, this
is really not my circle of friends. All right. All right. And plus, this has been going on forever. I mean, since ESPN got Monday Night Football back, how many years ago they've been taking games away from the general public?
Yeah,
because not everyone had ESPN.
No, you're right, but I mean, they're not the only league. Look, I love to crap all over the NFL and the billion-dollar conglomerate that they are, but the NHL has done this with ESPN Plus. The NBA has done this. They're spread over how many cable networks at this point, right? There's now exclusive games in Major League Baseball that show up on Apple TV. It's the wave of the future, and there's nothing we can do.
Sports is a TV show. Just understand that always, and business comes first.
Like it or not, the way the college football season, the last of its kind, wound up.
I hated it. I mean, it was entertaining. I hated it because you had teams that had a legitimate argument to be in that playoff, and then they lost when their players walked away. You go, see, that's the reason. I hate the fact that Michigan ended up winning the national championship only because I'm a big Penix Jr. fan and I wanted to see him succeed. It is going to be funny to watch Michigan fans try and cope with the fact that this man, Bo Schembechler, did not win you an outright national championship. Jim Harbaugh did, and he's about to leave for the NFL. So is he a hero or a villain?
I think he's, he could be both at the same time, because if he leaves, he's going to be a villain. But at any given point, they've been able to get through everything together. Think about how J.J. McCarthy played in that game. Very average, very pedestrian. They ran the football, 2 40-yard touchdown runs. Then Cormac at the end. It was unbelievably done artistically done the way Michigan did it. 15-0. I love Michigan. I love the championship. They went through the controversy and they got the championship.
Not that it matters, but does either of you guys think that Georgia wouldn't have beaten either one of those teams?
No, I mean, but I guess that was the one cool and unique part of the field. I could see Georgia and Florida State beating any of those teams, right? Like, they were so pretty evenly matched. I just think that leaving the Pac-10 for Washington, you saw what a problem that's going to be, because you got those big uglies coming from the Midwest pushing guys around and clearing space for running backs. You have to recruit like that, and it's going to take you 5 years to get there.
You looking forward to the 12-teamer?
I am looking forward to it, because then it gets some of the whining out of it too, and it puts the elite teams in that position to try to go get a championship. You want the best audience. I agree. Washington, I wanted Penix to win. Wasn't able to do it. Michigan gets the championship. This is the way it's structured now.
The best part of the 12-team playoff will be home on-campus college football playoff games. That's going to be bananas.
All right. Our Like It or Not segment was brought to you by Sport Clips Unfinished Business.
The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
Came now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. It is time for Unfinished Business. Pat, start us.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Josh Allen experience, a man who was arguably the best player on the field Sunday night, over 420 yards of total offense, and a man who, in 3 separate plays, could have given the game away to the Miami Dolphins early on. But here's the thing, man. You hear a lot about Josh Allen's problems with turnovers, leads the league in interceptions, leads the league in fumble for a quarterback, and those things exist. Analysts want to make you believe that that's going to keep him from ever achieving the greatness that we think he can do here in Buffalo. Dan Orlovsky, works for ESPN, had a remarkable stat this week. The last 3 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl in the NFL, 4 if I'm not mistaken, were all top 3, top 4 in interceptions that season. You know why? Because if you're going to make an omelet, you got to break a couple of eggs. If you have the arm talent to squeeze balls in where Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford do, you're going to throw some interceptions. Not to mention the fact that the overwhelming majority of the time, these all-star elite quarterbacks atone for their mistakes, just like you watch Josh Allen do, not only with his arm, but with his legs. Ladies and gentlemen, don't fight it. Sit back, enjoy, and soak in the full Josh Allen experience.
I just can't do it. I can't bet against Mike Tomlin, even though everybody in Pittsburgh and anybody in the NFL would love to, saying that he just can't do it. Doesn't have the quarterback, doesn't have the backup quarterback. How is he going to be able to do it with a third-string quarterback? Yet, look at where we are in the playoffs yet again. Mike Tomlin has done it. Another season, another winning season, a playoff season. And then to think about all of this, the possibility that there is some rumor going around that he could actually take 1 year off, go into the television booth, which I think he would be great at, and then maybe come back, reemerge with another NFL team is unbelievable. Listen, I'm not sure what's going to happen on Sunday. I just know I cannot bet against Mike Tomlin. And I won't either in this game, in life, or anything else. He's one of the coaches that you know full well. If he were your coach, you would go out there and play all-star NFL football. That's how good Tomlin is. He never gets the credit he deserves. But if you've got your third-string quarterback in the playoffs, would you let him go?
With an aggregate age of 25.58, Green Bay has the youngest NFL postseason team in 50 years. And this should be a good thing for the Packers, right? Well, as Lee Corso might tell you, not so fast. The 1974 Buffalo Bills were the last postseason team that was this young. 9-5 back-to-back seasons, the O.J. Simpson years. O.J. was fresh off his record-setting 2,000-yard season. In 1974, 15 of the other 21 starters on that team had 3 years or less NFL experience. Hall of Famer Joe DeLamielleure, Reggie McKenzie anchored the Electric Company offensive line. Players like Ahmad Rashad, Jim Braxton, Tony Green were just starting out. The quarterback was Joe Ferguson in only his second year. Lou Saban had returned for another go-around as the head coach. These guys were set up. Well, Buffalo lost in the playoffs that year to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were on their way to the first of their 6 Super Bowl championships. No matter. The Bills would be back. This was the beginning of something great. Until it wasn't. Just 2 years later, all that promise devolved into a 2-12 train wreck. O.J. was fading. Ferguson got hurt. Gary Morangi became the quarterback. Saban quit 5 games into the season and was replaced by Jim Ringo, who promptly went 0-9. The Super Bowl run was still 16 years off. The point of it all. Someday, the stars may actually align for the Buffalo Bills, but nothing is ever assured. That's our unfinished business, and that is our programs. A footnote to that 70-14 odd game played against the Jets early in the season, September, 40 degrees, 45 mile an hour wind.
Wow.
Joe Ferguson for the game, full-time quarterback, 0 for 2. It's the last time in an NFL game that a quarterback failed to complete a pass.
Wow, so he was just
0 for 2.
He was one off of the Mac Jones record.
That's how serious that almost was.
Well, if this weather gets bad, what do you think? Buffalo's run game versus Pittsburgh's run game?
Bro, I told you I'm confident. I got him 10.5. I'm not worried.
10
You're going to
and a
doubt
half.
me.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that is our program. Thank you, guys. Nice job. See you next week on the Rochester Press Box.
You're nuts.
Joe, what do you think on the 10.5?
Oh, he's definitely taking the points.
Bias.